not there. I think for the Fantoman girls, we ended up at the Institute of Journalism. Obviously, my passion, my focus was to be sitting where you are sitting, be a newscaster, be a journalist, and I know all that. Then, but this is what we sometimes you desire as you grow up. I want to be. I think we all said what we wanted to be when we were growing up.
Yeah.
And I was sincerely looking forward to it, but somehow. His ways are not always our ways.
Yes,
I think in trying to find a purpose, in trying to do something that will be more impactful, I chanced and fell into agriculture. And I think I became passionate when I desired to, to know more. Because I ended up, in some strangely, I strayed from journalism into PR. And if you could remember, this is something, a course I really hated in class. I never thought I would find myself doing like PR, but that's where I ended up after our internships and all that. Exactly. Yes. And then I had a stint with City FM, and that was it in journalism for me. So I ended up in PR with Global Media Alliance, and I think that's when I fell in love. And it was the beginning of laying my foundation, trying to really know myself, discover more about me. But still, it was a bit challenging, And then I found myself working within a PR space and doing a bit of agriculture. Then I was attending a lot of seminars and conferences, and I realized that, look, I go there and then we are all in, and we come back and everybody is asking what was said, because the jargons and the GDPs and everything was really above everybody asking. So in my quest and to understand more, and if you say we wanted to drive the youth into agriculture, if we wanted to drive women into agriculture, and sometimes we go for the conference and all that and you don't understand the languages, it was a bit hard for us or for me. So I wanted to basically, I like creating, I like inventing, I like initiating. So in the quest to, break the sector down for me to appreciate it and then understand why I have to get into agribusiness, I started to come up with initiatives, that was more providing a solution, at the same time making measurable impacts. And that is when we started with a lot of initiatives like the boot camp. And I think for us, amidst all the challenges, what works or what is working for me is the kind of team I have, who are ready to dream with me, who are ready to make an impact, who are ready to travel through the, the villages in code to the districts and all that. So it's about having that kind of team and really realizing the dream. But I ended up from being a beauty queen to a journalist to a PR. Now I'm more focused in agribusiness, and what we seek to do basically as Agri House Foundation is to make an impact, is to get the youth, making one significant impact is huge for us. So getting somebody to appreciate that, look, if I am going to agriculture, I don't really have to be on the farm. We all don't have to be on the farm. Sarah, you can farm, and Alberta can buy from you and process it, and then somebody else can take it to market it, and then somebody else can play a role in communication. So we're trying to really link all the value chain for it to be more appreciated and more recognized, and that's what we've been doing. So we have different projects, as you rightly mentioned, the boot camp. We've been running it for, next year will be the 5th year. So every year we bring students from all the colleges, Kwada, Soda, Mango, Ohio, Fair River, Aswanzi, all of them together. We camp them for a week, and then we support them with seed capitals or inputs, depending on the kind of ideas they come back, they come up with. We have mentors and coaches who coach them, and then every year they come back to tell us what they are doing.
We will delve more into the projects you've been embarking on, but let me ask you this. I mean, one would wonder, what put you off in journalism? And then of all the industries you could have made an impact as a beauty queen, I mean, you went into journalism, you went into agriculture and even agribusiness. That's a preserve for probably men, a domain for men. I mean, what put you off in journalism, and also what's really attracted you, apart from the jargons you were hearing that you probably wanted to
break it down?
Break it down for
I think, honestly, journalism is still very attractive to me.
Okay.
It didn't really put me off. I think at that point in time or in life, journalism was a new fashion. And then we finished school and everybody wants to be a journalist. And it's something that really I honestly loved, honestly. But like I mentioned, it gets to a point that you want to identify your purpose, you want to build a path, and you want to discover more of yourself. So I think for me it was more of a bit of, being inquisitive. And I ended up finding myself there. And one thing I grew to, or I'm still going to know about myself, is that I don't really like you to say, Alberta, you can't do it. And so when we started this agric thing, I don't know if my mom is watching, but my mom was one person who said, Alberta, why don't you go and read law? Why don't you go and do this? What would you gain from this and all that? And then other people, beyond that, you also going into the field and sometimes being challenged by men. People read a lot of meanings into, women being in other fields. So I think I wanted to prove myself, not to anybody, but prove that I can do something. And then it even goes beyond that. Seriously, you start with something that you don't even understand yourself. But from afar, somebody will say, oh, keep pushing, you are doing well and all that. And then finally my mom got to really understand and even started, coming to the picture to advise and all that. But I think that the challenges that came with it made me firm to, persevere and go through it. And we still face challenges every day. Every day is a new discovery. Every day is a new learning platform for us and for myself. And I think it's exciting, but it's very challenging where we find ourselves.
Resilience is the word. Resilience is what has brought you this far. But tell me, how did you start? I mean, people see Alberta Akosa now as a huge household name. I mean,
like,
for you to have run agric shows and even be the executive director for Agri House, really it's a big thing.
Wow.
People might think that it just happened for you. How did you start? Was it so small, or you probably had some sponsors to make you hit big?
I think it started with believing in an idea.
Okay.
And we all have ideas that sometimes we try to say, oh, tomorrow, but I think one thing that's possibly helped me is when I dream about it, I want to implement. And that is how it started. But I think I may have been favored in a way, because beyond all these ideas, it got to a point that one of the projects for the advance was ending. One of the leading market linkage programs in the
North. That's the U.S.
advance was ending. Okay. And they were looking for sustainability, and they were looking for somebody who can take over. And then I ended up bidding for it. In fact, I never knew I would be selected. But I think, as I said, his ways are not our ways. So I was selected, and then we took over, and it's helped me to bring up all the. At that time, I had these ideas already, so it helped me to just bring up all these ideas, So we started off with this pre-harvest event in the north in 2017 thereabouts, and then prior to that, I was also with an organization, and we were organizing other agri shows, but these ones made me better appreciate the details, and then get into the field and all that. And so we kicked off with that one, and then it was one initiative after the other. Then we started off with a boot camp. I mean, we sought out basically to make an impact. At a point, the money is very key, but when you are living your dream, when you are living your passion, it sometimes supersedes, what you get at the immediately. So I think it's a drive and passion that made me, go all out. And sometimes you start off like with, again, thinking like every business, you think like you can make, you want to make money, but when you get to the field and you get to appreciate the sector and you know what is happening, you rather want to contribute. And I think that is where I found myself, and I have a very good team. I always talk about my team because you know we face challenges all the time, but we're able to overcome it, or able to improve upon whatever we do. So we started off with the boot camp. After the pre-harvest, started with a boot camp, and for the past 4 years, we've been supporting many youths to either gain employment somewhere or to start their own businesses. We've set up a lot of businesses across. Some of our students are from Amanfrom, like James, that I'm always proud of, who is into pineapple juice now, and others like Ella, who are into mushroom farming, and some of them even serving as our trainers now. So we've groomed a lot of you, right from Fair River Institute in Ho to Ohio to Damango. Most of the students are beneficiaries who are doing excellently well, and I'm proud to say they also now serve as our trainers when we are having some of our interventional projects. Then we moved on to the livestock show. When we realized, you know, when we talk about farming, we realized that a lot of people we were all focusing on crop farming,
yeah.
and there was very little attention to livestock and all that. So we wanted to make sure that the sector is in tandem and receiving equal attention. And so when the government launched the Rearing for Food and Joy, we leveraged on it to launch the livestock, poultry and fishery training and trade show. And we are happy that within the space of 3-4 years, we've trained over 800 people, and out of it, more than 35% are fully into either rabbit farming or snail farming or yogurt processing and all that. And we are also happy that beyond going into the basics, some are really appreciating what the whole cycle is. You know, some are leveraged. We have some who are into processing, who are not basically farming, but they are processing a whole lot of things within the value chain. So you realize that we are playing a role, and then one step at a time we will definitely get there as a country. And then we also came up with, you know, we talk about women and our role and all that. So the space, the men take it. No, we are not fighting. I mean, we are only taking our.
It's such a broad. It's such a broad industry that one may wonder, have these opportunities been there all these times, and we never had anybody take it? Was it a free space for you, or it was competitive?
I think it's been competitive from day one. But what I think we are doing differently, that possibly, I may be wrong, but nobody is doing, is creating a niche in agric interventional projects. And when you talk about that, AgriHouse Foundation is leading that front in the country, because we've been able to break the sector down and getting everyone to fit within the space. So if you are a youth and we want to go into agribusiness, you know that you belong to the beginner agribusiness boot camp. If you're a woman and you want to improve, scale up, or benefit from our resources, you know that you can focus on the Women in Food and Agri Leadership Training Forum, which travels from region to region. So everybody gets to be a beneficiary. If you want to go into livestock or poultry and everything, you realize that, oh, I can either go into bed, like having the farm, or I can go into the feed or nutrition. So we are just trying to, get people to appreciate the value chains and the role that we can play. I can decide to be an agric production house only, where I focus on doing documentaries on only agriculture. And I'm still in agribusiness, and that is what we've been driving at, for people to appreciate that if I can go into photography but focus on agribusiness. We have pictures that people want to buy. We also buy pictures which are farm related. So why not taking up or building a niche? And that is what we sought, or we've been seeking to do. That in the business, we all don't have to farm. I can be a photographer focused on taking pictures only agric related. I can do documentaries. I can be a marketer. I can go on social media and say, like, social media has become a thing because of the COVID. So why don't I, if I can't go and farm and I can't process, why don't I identify all these women who are processing and who are all this, and then create a marketing platform online. So that's really what we've been trying to create the awareness on, that we can all play a role regardless of what we are doing within the space. And that is when the value chain will be at, at par with each other. So that's basically what we've been doing. So we have the Women in Food and Agri Leadership Training Forum. I think you showed a bit of that. What we do is to travel from region to region. We're able to tell the story of women in the sector, at the districts, at the hinterlands who are doing so well, and then we get to inspire them, we get to support them. You travel to their farm and they'll say that, oh, you go mad and
keep
go
going.
exactly. So we try to support them with some motorcycles and all that, some inputs. We are happy that Canada supports us in this venture. And then I don't know if you know about Yara, Ghana, and APSA. They really support us when we are doing this. So the impact really goes far, because they come on board, support us to support these women form into cooperatives, because they have a bigger share of voice when they are into cooperatives. And then we support them with some inputs, maybe irrigation sets, give them easy ways to access funds with the support of APSA, and then also, or sometimes ADB, and then with Yara also support them with some of the basic things that they need, like fertilizers and all that. And then be able to also get these tricycles to support whatever they are doing. So every year we travel from region to region. We started off with the Volta region, training over 800 women. Then we moved to the Ashanti region, and then we moved to Boga and Wa this year. But we are happy that beyond these supports, now some of these women are really being recognized in their communities. They are being invited to sit at the table with the chiefs and all that. They are able to mentor their communities and all that. And that is empowerment, that is recognition, that is motivation, that is inspiration, that is encouragement. So we are very proud that we are looking beyond the access to market, which the program easily provides for them, to being recognized within their communities as women who are excelling and supporting their communities to develop.
One thing I saw that caught my attention in your profile was the AgriWatch news portal. What did you mean by that?
Okay, so when the COVID was at its peak, we started off to intervention, because basically we were all at home, and the government was doing everything to support people with even cooked foods. So we were sitting back and said, what can we do? We are very small. We are very tiny.
Are you sure?
We are very tiny. We are doing mighty things, I think.
How could you have made such huge impact?
It's the impact. You see, the impact. But we are very small. And we are happy that we have organizations who believe in our interventions. And that is possibly what is shaping and positioning us. But when the COVID was at its peak and the government was giving cooked foods to people, we were looking at, honestly, sincerely, it was a good move by the government. But we were saying that, okay, how sustainable would that be? So what can we do to also support? So it was at that period that we came up with two interventions. That is the AgriWatch news portal. We were just sampling news across, because people were not having access to print and anything like before. The percentage had reduced. So we will sample the news, put it together, and then send it to you. And then we thought it was something that we were doing, to support, but basically it just caught up, and they were able to now have a portal, a proper news portal for to promote agriculture, to relay agri news and all that. And then within that same period, we started the One Household, One Garden initiative, and we are happy. I mean, that was a shock for us. We wanted to support. Hey, who are you to compete with? We wanted to support the government's efforts. So we said that, oh, Sarah, let's come to your home. Let's set up a backyard garden for you.
Alberta, you didn't come to my home.
No, I'm just giving you as an example. So we put ourselves together.
I'm disappointed you didn't come to my home. You went to all homes.
It's not late. A bigger one is coming. So we put an ad out there that, oh, One Household, One Garden. Register for it. Sarah, within a week,
the patronage was so high.
We had over 700 people applying. So we just, had to close the... we just had to close. We were shocked, and we just said, "Oh, we didn't know that people would apply like that. We just wanted to support. We just got some seeds and then some trays and some car ties and all that. So we come to your home, we give you the vegetables, either the seeds or the seedlings. If you want the seeds, we just teach you how to nurse it. And then if you want the seedlings, we just, we're supporting you. And we're able to do it with some of the volunteers from the boot camp. So most of them came on board to support. But though the project didn't fail, I won't say it's a failure, but out of the 700 people who applied, we're able to support only about 76 of them. Which is, that's exactly. And then some of them came to our offices to pick the seedlings. So we weren't able to go there because we had very limited resources. But what excites us is that we were able to champion an advocacy that has led to people now talking about gardening, home gardening, and backyard gardening. We are proud that some of the people that we're able to set up for are still doing it. If you know Thomas, for instance. Yes.
Yes. I saw that phrase on Facebook. Everyone was going to backyard gardening.
So so
it was your initiative?
Yes. The one how we supported him with the seeds and the seedlings. And he was harvesting. That's where he's eating from now. Thomas is doing so well. And he's really inspired a new generation of people going to that farm because he was already out there, and through the one household, one garden, he was able to scale up, and then now I think he's doing something more improved than what, So he's one of the beneficiaries of our one household, one garden initiative. We are hoping that we are seeking some partnerships with other organizations, and we are hoping that will be clear soon so that we could reintroduce that project and expand it. Because we think it's important to, beyond having your own backyard, the beauty is to, be able to harvest what you are growing yourself. And it keeps the children engaged and everything at home as well.
Even the family.
Yes.
And that's commendable. Should you have about 10% of the population going to backyard gardening every year? I mean, imagine what our food stock would be like. I mean, one thing I also read was the Gold in the Soil Awards. One would probably mistaken it to be the actual gold, the ornamental gold that we know. What is it about?
It's about women.
Okay.
Women, we are basically, in quotes, the gold in the soil.
Okay.
We are the seed and we are the soul of agriculture. And we at Agri House thought it's important to celebrate women, appreciate them through an award scheme. And it goes beyond women. It's for every woman in agriculture. And that is why we're able to travel from region to region. So we identify the women within the communities, within the regions, within the districts who are excelling. We go there ourselves. We don't really rely on any data here. We travel to the communities ourselves. Like I mentioned, we went to the Volta region. We visited almost over 20 districts. We moved to the Ashanti region, about 43 districts. We visited all the districts, and we did same with Boga and Wa. So what we do is we have 15 different categories that we've identified for women within the communities. These are women who are change champions, whose story have not been told because of maybe their positioning. And so we want to just break the gap and get them closer to people, and also get them more markets. And also, importantly, be able to build organic data of women in the sector. So that people will appreciate that women are really contributing to community development, to family development, and all that. So basically, that's what the Gold in the Soil Awards about. We come to this, like in the Volta region, in the Ashanti region, in Boga and in Wa. We identify some of the women. We, together with the National Farmers and Fishermen Award Winners Association, we screen them for the 15. We select 15 people to win these awards. And then we look at the categorization and where they fit more, and then we award them. So we just basically get these 15 women to be recognized. But beyond that, if we visit your community and you are part of those that we selected, you still benefit from our training programs and all that. But we award these 15 people stand out tall in their communities, and that's when we support them with the tricycles, with the other inputs like the fertilizers and all that. So basically, that's what the Gold in the Soil was about. It's about projecting women and creating a paradigm shift to celebrate women in the sector who may have been because of where their position may not have been recognized. So if you are able to go on our YouTube channel, Agri House TV, you will be able to see short videos of these women who are excelling, who are doing so well, who are inspiring their communities. And you see, these women, they don't get the money to feed themselves. They feed their communities. They mentor them. They're able to support 1 or 2 people to go to school. They're doing so well. But possibly because of their positioning, very few is known or heard about them. And one thing that is really, possibly a challenge, like Sarah, if you are maybe in Ashanti region and you are nominated for an award or something, or you are known as an agribusiness person, every event, you are the same person that they would invite. So I wanted to break that. Look, there are so many women. If you watch, you realize that even physically challenged women, they are doing so well in their communities. Imagine women who are working like this but still farming acres of land to feed their children, their communities. So it goes beyond a face. There are a lot of people, and that is what we want to bring out, that women are really the gold. We are the gold in the soil.
Indeed we are.
Yeah.
Indeed we are. Let me let you hold on to your thoughts. Yeah. If you just joined us, Women's Voice is getting up close and personal with the Executive Director of Agri House Foundation and Agri House Communications. Her name is Alberta Nanecha Akosa. She wanted me to emphasize on the Nanecha Akosa. If you just tuned in and you want to contribute to the program, I mean, Women Blazing the Trail in Agribusiness, you can contribute through our WhatsApp number 055-744-6429, 055-744-6429. You could also call in when the time is due on 0264 000997. We are also streaming live on Facebook. Alberta, agriculture, I mean, we've all seen agriculture as a very risky business. Some go for loans to till the land. They don't even get the dividends. Sometimes they lose their farms to maybe pests, to droughts, whatever. I mean, we see agribusiness to be a risky one. Tell us how risky it is, if it is.
I think everything is risky.
Okay.
Every area of opportunity is also an area of risk.
Okay.
And so it is with agriculture or agribusiness, everything. So it's a debatable, topic to or issue to address. There is risk in it, yes. There are opportunities in it. There are challenges in it. And I think one of the key things that is, how do we overcome these challenges? We talk about access to funding as possibly an area, because somebody may go for a loan and then they lose everything. What happens then? You see, so the banks are also very careful and calculated in giving these loans out because of the risk they may foresee. And so sometimes they want the groups to be organized first before they give out these loans. A farmer may also go out to harvest his tomatoes, and then there are no markets, post-harvest loss, everything is, that's also another risk.
Maybe they are not implementing best farm practices, or?
No, if you don't have the market. You see, sometimes I travel around the Wa Road, and Sarah, sometimes I think I'm cheating a farmer, but to be able to buy a big bowl of tomatoes for 20 cedi just because they don't have the market for it, that's because we don't have storage facilities for perishable goods. So I mean, I think it's the challenges that present the risk sometimes. We have warehouses for grains and all that, and then very few for perishable goods. That's another.
We don't even have processing plants for those. Yes.
We have.
I mean, the ones we have, I know of the Polugu tomato factory. I don't know whether it's been resuscitated. But I mean, we don't have we don't have the processing.
We don't have enough. I think that's the way to. We don't have enough.
Okay.
When you go to And I always use Wale Wale as an example, because that's where our vice presidents come from.
Okay.
They produce a lot of watermelon.
Okay.
And then I buy watermelon in Accra for 20 cedis, or 20 cedis. And then I'm in Wale Wale or Tamale, and I buy for less than 5 cedis. So you can just imagine, is there a lot?
Wow.
You know, so if you're able to even establish, understand now there's a plans already in place to establish or already establish a processing, but there wasn't anything like that. So all this goes waste when you don't have a buyer. And then, but you know, there is, amidst all these challenges, there is education, there's capacity building that is supporting these women. And I'm always proud of women like Queen Gaff, women like Portia Sumda, who are trying to add value to their produce. And this weekend at the Children's Park, we'll be hosting, we have this thing that we do monthly for women, Agri Woman Marketplace, and we'll be holding it at the Children's Park.
Okay.
Most of these women will be there. You'll be amazed how they are taking capacity building seriously to add value to whatever, so that they can preserve it. Just because we don't have the
market and the
lack of market or the system that can preserve. But now there is education, there is enlightenment to add value to it, and these women are doing tremendously well. I'll be happy if you could pass by the Children's Park on Saturday to see what these women are coming to showcase. So like I mentioned, there's a risk in everything, but I'm glad that we are beginning to look beyond the risks to identify the opportunities and find ways to be able to grow the sector.
I mean, we just celebrated Farmers Day, I think last week, right?
Yes.
Were you disappointed we didn't have a woman? Have we ever had a woman farmer?
Oh, yeah, we've had women,
national farmer or fisher?
Yes, we've had women taking position, like the second.
The ultimate prize, I mean.
The ultimate.
We never.
I may be wrong, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I know that the second national best farmer has been won by a woman before, but the ultimate one for the past 37 years, I stand to be corrected, but I doubt. But I think that the interesting thing now is that women are being heard. We are being given a seat at the table, and we are hoping that the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and others involved in the selection would really consider the women to also, push us further. But women are taking their place within the categories now, which is encouraging.
Yeah. And I'm glad you've also taken your place in agribusiness. I mean, you have been at it for almost 10 years, or even
or more. We started underground with the agri shows and all that, and we are still underground. We are still trying to.
Are you sure? Because I really heard of agri shows really under your watch.
Yes, and I'm beginning to know all these things now. That because of you, I heard there are things that I'm not privy to.
Okay, hold on to your thoughts. I'm told there's a call on the line. Okay, I'm supposed to announce the phone lines again. The numbers to call is 0264 000997, and our WhatsApp lines are 055 744 6429. Please go ahead.
Yes, so Sarah, like, is there some of these things you don't even know that you are doing them until people tell you you are doing them, and for me, I think it's humbling. And I'll really like it to be like that, that from afar, you don't really know, that you are making a significant impact within the areas that you have, chosen to, thread. But you don't know that because of this or that, so now that you are telling me, like, sometimes I don't even know that I'm known here. I'm just working my way, and one or two people may be looking at me. I don't even know anything. But I think it's best kept simple, and I prefer it like that than, knowing something I don't want to know.
Okay, so since you've been in the business for a while, would you want to point out what has gone amiss? Why is it that we still haven't placed or put value on most of our products that could rake in a lot of dividends for us?
You see, I think that, one, we don't appreciate our own. see how Ghana rice is even struggling to be eaten. And then you get people saying, oh, it doesn't taste like, but this rice come in highly nutritious, volumes. And yet we are saying that it doesn't taste the same or whatever. The women farmers, the farmers in general are putting in a lot of effort. You go to, so one is another side there, and then you go to shelves as well. And some, if I have this water selling at maybe 1 cedi, that will be possibly a foreign brand, which may be lesser. And then the local brand may also be expensive. So sometimes the local things come out being even more expensive than the...
Because of the cost of production.
So, I mean, I don't think, I think that we could do better and balance, balance it.
Okay, so I'm told there's a caller on the line. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Yeah. Kindly tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Kaswa.
Okay, your name, please.
Yeah, the contributions that I see for a seller. Yeah, it's okay. So the Ghana government, in 1973, Colonel Chapo did a great project that helped the nation. Okay. So now the NPP government comes, they should do that project. That labor, people develop, coming to the castle. The farming and everything is going on well. Okay. So the government have to do projects. That's a great process and the cocoa. Okay. And the farming. So they say there's no job in the country. There's a job. We African, you don't like to work. Okay. So I like to contribute and do a great project.
All right.
Because our forests are there.
All right. Thank you so much.
That's the contribution.
Thank you so much for your contribution. I believe you've made your point. Thank you so much. Anyway, so you were talking about the fact that the cost of production in getting our local produce out there is quite expensive. What would you want to see? One thing I would also want us to touch on is having foreign-based investors coming to cheat our local farmers out of deals. I'm just returning from Kede, and I'm told of this company called Siat or something that have taken over the farmlands of locals. Wow. In the name of processing it, but they are being paid pittance and all that. We'll talk about that, but I would want you to first address the first question I asked.
Okay, sorry.
The cost of production in what would you want to see change?
I think that we need more processing, and when we talk about processing, we need appropriate processing equipment in the country. Like I mentioned, you see somebody like I always am proud of Pengab, I'm proud of Latifa. They are doing their own things, be dyes, who are in their own small way.
These are Ghanaians?
These are Ghanaians. Okay. B Diet is in Tamale, okay. And he processes, he's into granola, he's into Hausa cocoa and all that. He's using very simple technologies to do it. Imagine we had a bigger processing center. Okay. What can he do? Yeah. And then you have somebody like Queen Gav, who is also processing baobab, processing what's it called, turmeric, processing so many things. You are amazed what this woman, she told me that she just sits down or sleep and then the ideas come. You'll be amazed what she's processing. Imagine that we have equipment focused on what she's doing. You realize that the production will be high. She's able to produce in large quantities, even for export, and then it will come down. So I think what, as a country, what we really need is identifying what we are processing and then, scaling it up. So because we don't need to reinvent them, things are already happening. How do we break it down? We look at the farmer groups, we look at the processors, what are they, we look at the chains and what they are doing, and then we realize that even you visit some areas and they don't have tractors. It takes a long while for them to even go and hire a tractor to come and either plow their land or support them doing something on their land. So imagine the season is almost over, or we are in the middle of the season, you don't have a tractor or a plower or something, you just have to wait for somebody to finish plowing or whatever before you use it. So these things have to be looked at. I think it's important we look at what we are processing and how we could.
Okay, there's a caller on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell us your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Kumasi, Ambafo.
Okay.
In fact, when I see this station talking about agri, I become very, very happy. I'm interested in agri. For instance, I decided to start rice farming, but I don't know, I don't have any idea about how to go about it. So what do I do?
Okay, so I will talk to my guests. Maybe we'll take your number after the program, or you can call back after the program and we'll guide you. He says he's into rice farming, or he intends to embark on rice farming, but he has no idea how.
Okay, then we could take a number and then direct him to the rice.
So my guest will take your number and direct you as to what to do. But let me go onto our WhatsApp page and read a couple of messages that have come in. This one says, "Good evening, my name is Marigold, the founder of Marigold Hope Foundation." She said she would like to pass through the program, but she said, "I'm feeding 5,000 street children on the streets of Ada." Oh, okay, so we'll talk about this. I thought it had some bearing with agriculture. I mean, taking some farm produce from women or farmers and feeding street children. This one says, "This is Mohammed from Tema. I'm watching live. Indeed, you're a strong woman. I'm happy for your effort. God bless you." I'll bet that goes to you. And this one says, "Hello, good afternoon. My name is Bina from Tema. Wonderful program. Please, I need the number of your guests. I really want to enter into agribusiness." I think you are now a role model for others to watch and emulate. Okay, so Madame Alberta is a very courageous woman. I agree with you that I admire most, though I'm a man, but see her as a role model. I have opportunity of meeting her in 2015 at La Palm Beach Hotel. Just that she didn't make my business go through. I'm sure her hands were so tied, but I'm sure she would help you someday. I even went to her office.
Hey, God, it's okay.
All right, so Alberta says probably should try and assist you another time round. She said, this one says, "I'm Patrick Tete Tamate, founder of Agricoco Limited. Please, I need the contact of the lady on your show now. I'll ask for her permission before I could share her number." This one says he's Ayuba from Wa. "Good afternoon, my dear sister. Watching you live from Wa. Thank you very much. What about the One District, One Factory project? If government have done what he means, we would have some storage centers and factories to turn them into finished goods for direct use." Do I have another call on the line? Okay, hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from, and you could tell us what your contribution is.
Oh, okay. My name is Esther, calling from Accra.
Okay, please go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thanks very much. I would like to tell the lady Nanecha that kudos to whatever she's doing. She's very good in doing that. Like she's promoting agriculture amongst us.
Thank you very much.
I would like to know if someone would like to volunteer or partake in any of her agricultural programs. What are the steps that the person will need to follow to be part of it?
Oh, she can
go ahead and tell her.
Okay, thank you so much. You can take my number. We appreciate people who want to dedicate their time to make an impact like you. So we'll be glad to speak to you and see where your strength lies, and then focus our energies the through our foundation.
Okay.
So yes, we can speak after the program. Yeah.
Okay. So if
I should call after the program.
Yes, but if I have her permission, I would share her number on my Facebook wall.
Yeah.
My name is Sarah Ofori. If you go onto Facebook, you'd see a lady in Kente with a blue and Kente outfit. I mean, that's me. So I could share her number on my Facebook wall so that you can also get in touch with him. This message says, thank you so much, ma'am. This message says, good evening, I'm Bernard from Western North. Please, do you practice hanging garden, as land acquisition in our communities is also, or is already problematic, which discourages most peasant farmers. But with hanging garden, a small space of land can be utilized to produce vegetables in order to break the barrier between vegetable farming and farmers. I mean, you could tell us about what he means by hanging.
Yeah, I think I would like to get in touch with him to know more about we know the people concept, we sometimes do the rooftop.
Yes.
And then for those who don't have the lands, we use the car ties. Okay. So if you get to our Facebook page, you see some of the car ties that we've used too. So it doesn't, we even paint it, so it becomes like more of a decor in your house. And then sometimes we do the rooftop, which we've not.
Major sector we can use where the youth can venture into a lot of things. We have all agreed on that, but how do we do it? Because especially funding. Yes, myself, I've done some poultry and other things. I had issues. Now, she spoke about even the rice we are trying to make people buy. As a nation, we should have a conscious mindset that we want to develop the taste of this rice. If we are able to develop that, then it means our people will be focused on eating our own. In Ghana here, there are a lot of things, especially in the protein space, because we have ducks here, we have guinea fowl, we have rabbit, we have, chicken. But we still import chicken. Yes, if we have processing plants, where governments have processing plants in districts, or even the municipalities, if you produce your chicken, you go there, they weigh it in, the municipality will buy it. Yes, in that doing, people will not even struggle to market their goods, and will reduce the importation. Currently, as we speak, the Chinese are here also doing poultry. They are doing virtually everything with us, and they have access to cheap loans. They have access to money from their country to do some of these things. We can't compete with them. So the youth will still go in there and struggle. And they will still tell us that, oh, the youth are not working. In Ghana here, the Ghanaian youth are very hard working. Go to the streets, they are selling the PK. Very, very hard working.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you. We are running out of time. Your point is made.
They can sponsor the youth to go into some of these families. Currently, she's on the program Zenato is organizing. Yes, you ask her of it, she will tell you.
Okay, Daniel, thank you. I'm happy
you
are about to benefit from that project. So, I mean, he's spoken about a lot, which is very sensitive, and you could see he's very passionate about it.
Okay.
And I think if there are any things to take back, we are looking at a sector that within the next 3 to 5 years, we should have processing centers across. We should look at what are we processing and how appropriate will the technology be. If we have women in the north who are processing baobab, who are processing moringa, who are processing what have you, what would be good for them? What kind of technology? We have tractor and equipment centers, logistics centers across the country. Our farmers are able to have access to this and then start the season in time. If we have technology in place for irrigation and all that, these things we should be, I know the government have done a lot and I know they are working towards it. It would be good that in the next 3 to 5 years, all this will be in place for the youth to, also benefit from.
Could you believe that we've exhausted 1 hour already and it's still not enough? I mean, we have to wrap up. My guest has been Alberta Nature Akosa. She's the Executive Director of Agri-Health Foundation, Agri-Communications. Her foundation's drive and commitment is to contribute to mindset change and create more desirable sector that is open to learning, to create, innovative, to lead, share impact, to grow, and to invest and expand through an all-inclusive approach where creativity and innovation take center stage. I've wrapped up everything I've got to say with or talk about Alberton and HR Costa. Thank you so much for your time. We thank you those who called. We thank you those who contributed. And see you same time this week.